Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Brian McLaughlin, Media Relations Director for the International Black Theater Festival, and you are tuning in to History. This is the inaugural Digital Daily News Conference with yours truly as your host. You are in the place for everything International Black Theater Festival all week, July 29th through August 3rd, Winston-Salem, North Carolina is Black Theater Holy Ground. Welcome and thanks for being here. This is the spot where you'll learn about all of the updates, how the shows are going, shows are sold out, and you're going to get a sneak peek behind the curtain with special guests here at the festival. Okay, let's just kind of talk about last night. First of all, we opened up the festival with our wonderful gala. It is absolutely beautiful. It was sold out, packed, people all in their purple and black, and it was an amazing evening. And the evening ended or culminated with the performance from Daniel Koa Beta. Daniel Koa Beatty, let me get their name right, with his performance of Love Warrior. If you missed it, please book your tickets. It's every 2 years. So in 2026, we will have another wonderful festival. But let's bring it down to today. We have over 100 performances from about 39 or so shows, including a midnight poetry jam, workshops, and everything International Black Theater Festival. Let's delve into a little bit of the sold out shows. So we know one of the biggest hits this festival is Coconut Cake. Coconut Cake is sold out. It was sold out so early that we had to add another show. So please go online to www.ncblackrep.org. And this is our inaugural program. So we'll get the rhythm of putting stuff on the screen and more stuff as we go. My videographer and producer, Eric Dowdy's behind the scenes. Hey, Eric, making things happen. And so we'll make sure that you get all the information you need. I tell you what, we also had a high energy news conference yesterday that started at noon, and it was incredible. And we had most of all the celebrities were there. They spoke to the crowd. We had Tyler Abercrombie, who's one of my favorites. She plays Nina on the critically acclaimed show The Chi on Showtime. And all the way to legends like Clifton Davis, who's one of our celebrity co-chairs, and Tamara Tooney. You've known her for years, 23 seasons on Dick Wolf's Law and Order SVU as the medical coroner. So the stars are out even during the day, walking the streets. You can come up to them and simply very, very good time. Well, guys, like I said, we're working things out. We're working things out. So what we're going to do is bring up my producer, Stevie. We're going to grab a very special guest. Get Beth ready. So we're going to bring up a very special guest. And this woman is so dear to my heart because she has been in the publishing world, keeping the forefront of Black theater in the face of the nation to make sure that folks remember Black theater and that we are able to tell our stories and to put them into print. And there are not many magazines that are still surviving and are still thriving. And to have one dedicated to Black theater is incredible. So it's called Black Mask, and it's mask plural, so mask. But it is such an honor over the years, I believe, since I've been at this festival, which I don't know if I should tell the years, Beth has been coming and covering the festival and making sure that not only the current Black history, the world of Black history today and the emerging artists out there, but she merges it with the past to make sure that her readers are getting just a full knowledge of everything. So very special guest. I love her dearly. She was at the gala last night. And it was almost like, well, when she first came to the festival, it's like that Charlie Brown and Snoopy scene. We like, hey, and you run. run in. So I am just so excited to have my first guest, and she's going to come on in, Eric, and she's going to sit down. Come on in, Beth, and we're going to get settled. And we are talking to Beth Turner, publisher. I have to be so formal. My God, because how many years have we known each other?
Oh my goodness.
We won't count.
We won't tell it.
But I mean, it's just amazing what you've done over the years. So how long really have Black Mass been?
We're actually coming up on our 40th anniversary. We started in September 1984.
Really?
Yeah. We got launched at the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop in New York. Yeah.
So tell me about your first experience with the National Black Theater Festival. What happened?
Oh, I came down actually to interview Larry Leon in 1988, 87, 88 to do a cover.
Yeah,
on him.
okay.
And it was during that interview I was so impressed, with the company and the whole setup of the theater. And in the course of that interview, he started talking about this dream of his to have this festival, to bring together all the Black theaters. And he said, I know, he named 4 or 5 or so. He said, I know of these. He said, I know there must be more. And because I had quite a few on my list, on my subscription list, I was able to give him, quite a few others. And he was always very grateful for that. So it was a wonderful moment to be able to at least give that little bit of a lift to it.
Okay, so I want you to really break it down for me, because I know I have my Larry Leon Hamlin story. We all do. Tell me your first impression when you met the Larry Leon Hamlin. Was it? I mean, I would love. Larry was Larry. He was.
Yeah. But just a lot of energy.
Okay.
A lot of.
Did he have his shades on?
It was like a little pre that. I mean,
you really have the okay.
Yeah. He had the ring.
The ring, the
star
ring.
The star ring.
Yes,
I remember the star ring, and we carried. I think in his issue, in fact, I have his issue. I should bring it down.
Yeah.
But he had his ring on, and I think we carried a picture with the ring on. But no, he just really struck me as someone who was very impassioned about his theater and the work they were doing.
Yes.
I think they were putting on Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope.
Yes, okay.
I think that's what was going up.
Okay.
And I was very impressed with the production.
Yes.
And the theater and the organization, just like, whoa.
And the work that you've done with your magazine is just, I can't even describe it. It's been so impactful to Black theaters and just for the genre. What has it meant for you to be able to publish Black Mass?
It has just been really wonderful, especially, all the way through. I was going to say, especially starting out. But starting out because at that point, Black artists, Black theater artists didn't really get very much publicity at all. In mainstream, newspapers, forget it. I mean, you just didn't. There would be Denzel, maybe 2 or 3 others, and the rest. And so at the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop, I'm meeting all these people and say, I've been working for 20 years. I've been working, and I was like, nobody has seen your face, knows your story, and you've been in the theater for 20 years. So I started thinking about that and how wonderful it would be, for them. First, not a cover, because I started out as a newsletter, basically.
Really? I didn't know that.
6 pages, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And Woody was on the.
I'm sure that's framed somewhere, Beth. That better be framed somewhere. Woody was on the cover.
It was a newspaper format, so it wasn't like a cover.
Right.
It was just masthead and then an article, and so I had a little postage stamp. He didn't have a photo to give me. I cut it out of his book because he had just published a book. I said, this picture will work. I cut it out. And I wanted to get it finished in time for the opening of the season for the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop.
Right.
And I labored over that 6-page thing because it was still the age where you had to cut and paste. And I had no training in that, so I was there with the T-square and the knife of all hours trying to get together these 6 pages.
And look now. That
Yeah, it
is
was
crazy.
just, a totally different thing.
So this is a passion. It
Yes,
started off
yeah,
as just,
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it
yeah,
has to be. It has to be. Give
yeah.
me some of your memorable interviews or covers.
Oh my
Besides
goodness.
Larry, we know he, yeah.
Yeah, Larry
Yeah.
Leon. I did Lloyd Richards. That was
Oh,
really, really, really nice, and that was in our second year.
wow.
Um, I did. Did I do? We did Douglas Turner Moore several times. I'm trying to think if I did it or someone else. I did
Right.
August Wilson.
Oh,
Yeah, really, really nice. But at a certain point, um, I didn't want it to be a vanity press,
hmm.
so I didn't want all the articles to be by Beth Turner, for Beth Turner, about
By
Beth
Beth Turner.
Turner.
About which it could have been. You're that talented. So thank you for being humble.
So I was really glad. And a lot of people um, wanted to write, just felt that their favorite artists
Yeah.
needed to have some press. And so writers would come forward, because I couldn't really, I mean, I always gave some kind of honorarium, but had nothing to
Yeah.
do with what you would get
Right.
as a
Right.
writer,
Right. Exactly.
So these are people that are writing out of a passion, right? That they wanted to have this knowledge about their
Hmm.
favorite
Hmm.
artist or issue. Sometimes it
Right.
was about
Right.
something that was going on. Um,
What's some of the feedback that you've gotten over the years has just like melted you from what you're doing, for
yes,
Black
yes,
theater?
yes. Well, people would come up and say, don't stop. Because
I know.
in 40 years, there are times when you say,
I'm done.
really, really,
Really?
is it, the article? And the thing is, too, no matter how many issues, every issue has a unique problem. I was like, how can that be after 40
40
years?
years.
I'm coming up on
The
something
world
new
of
every
publishing
time. I
and
was just like,
technology and stuff. And you've kept up. I mean, your product looks great. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so sadly, is it
yes,
ending?
it is. Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
oh, don't say
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna
I
do it. We're gonna do it
know.
one more year.
You're gonna do it one more
Yeah.
year.
So in other words, so I was just at the Black Theater Network, and they give it to their members as part of their membership.
Right.
So I will honor their subscription for this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be
Okay.
good for a year.
Okay.
And then and I've solicited all writers, previous writers, people who've ever wanted to be in Black Mass, to
Mm-hmm.
be in the collection now,
Oh.
to make their proposals, and I'll try to get them
Okay.
in the 4 issues. And if there's a lot left over, then I'll do a
A
final,
final.
final issue
Yeah.
of some
Okay.
sort.
Well,
But we'll be around for the year.
so how does it feel? You're saying it out loud. I mean,
Yes, it makes it feel real.
Yes, it's real. I know.
It makes
It's
it feel
real.
very real.
It's real.
But I feel good about it because it's very round number, 40 years, and it feels like
It feels,
accomplishment.
yeah,
Feels like an
yeah,
accomplishment.
yeah.
So it just felt neater to me. I
Okay.
mean, I had some people that were interested, but I found that either they were idea people, which were wonderful, and could bring in writers,
Hmm.
around certain ideas.
Hmm.
But then I said, well, would you also like be doing the layout? Would you also be
We're doing,
doing the publicity?
yeah,
Would you be doing the mailing?
it's your baby.
Right? And that's one model. And I said, well, and I know they wouldn't.
Right.
So then that would mean they'd have to hire those people.
Right.
So then that's a whole different business model, because the income right now is not going to be able to hire anyone.
So you said, you know what? I'm going out on top. It's my baby. And instead of having someone take the name and take the tradition and the history and not do it justice.
Right. To see an issue, I mean, oh, wait a minute,
Right.
they missed this one.
You
Oh
would,
my God.
you would be having the same stress as
I would be, I
Right.
would just, and feel totally powerless because you've
because
given
you,
it over.
you have nothing to do.
Yeah, you've given it
Well,
over.
Beth, I just cannot tell you how much I adore you.
Thank you.
The
Right.
first
And
time
vice
you
versa.
the first time you walked in the media room, I'm like, we're gonna get along. We're gonna get along. And we have for so many years. And
Yes.
I'm truly, honestly saying from my heart that you are just a dynamic person. And the good thing about it is the magazine is ending, but this is not. You're still coming to the festival.
Right.
And, you know, hey, now that you're not doing that, I just might have to put you to work as a correspondent or doing something a little bit, not all doing the festival, but you would be a great media partner with me with your knowledge and your history. I love you so much. And thank you so much for being here. Guys, she really just found out, like literally before I came on air, you're my guest because so that's how much she loves me. She put the lipstick on and said, okay, I'll do it because it's Brian. I said, look at Beth over there put lipstick on. I said, she is making it ready. So thank you so much. I adore you. I'm going to miss you so much. Magazine, but not you. We'll keep in touch.
Yes.
And then the festival's growing and we'll make sure that we just remain friends and just keep making sure Black theater is to the forefront of America because it's not just Black stories, it's all of our stories.
Right. And the next generation, right? Yes. Somebody else needs to step into this space and do whatever the younger generation podcast or whatever. Yeah.
Love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, guys, that was it. A piece of history. I had to talk to Beth Turner, like I said. Getting a little emotional. I mean, Beth and I have been knowing each other for years. She's come to the festival, and just the work that she's done for Black theater is just amazing. And like I said, the magazine's going away, but certainly not her talent and everything that Beth is doing. So let me tell you about a special opportunity. Like I said, I'm keeping you up to date, guys. A special opportunity, a special partnership that we have this year here at the International Black Theater Festival. We are partnering with Disney. That's right. Disney will be here tomorrow, Wednesday and Friday. They're going to be holding open auditions for performers, actors, singers, for all of their Disney properties, Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Shanghai, Hong Kong Disney, and of course their cruise lines. What an opportunity. I've already had people come up to me, Brian, where can I audition for Disney? And all that information is online under special events at ncblackrep.org. So you can come here to the festival, okay, and leave with a job traveling the world for Disney. What an experience. And that is what we're doing here at the festival. We want to make sure that we are providing opportunities, not just within the confounds of Black theater, but we want to make sure that we are continuing those partnerships. And we also have Readers Theater of New Works. If you have a new work, you can submit your new work to be read here at the festival by maybe even a famous actor. We have a special project this year called Turning 15 on the Roads to Freedom. That is a special reading by Tanya Pinkins and is highlighting the youngest African-American civil rights activist. She was only 15 years old when she crossed the Pettus Bridge in Selma, Linda B. Lowry, Blackman Lowry. And she's here walking around. I feel like history. We recognized her yesterday at the news conference. She was honored last night at the gala, and we're just excited. And there, like I told you before, there are over 100 performances. Now, those performances, they have to take place in theater. So coming up, I'm talking to Artie Reese. Artie is our technical director for the International Black Theater Festival because those productions have to take place in theaters with sets, with everything, International Black Theater Festival. And Artie is, okay, first of all, when you see him, we get on camera, he's a hoot. Artie has been with the festival since its inception with Larry Leon Hamlin. It's amazing. So this is the day, it's crazy how this is coming together on the inaugural digital show because it's a day of history. I've talked with Beth, ending that chapter with Black Mask after 40 years. And now I get to talk with Artie Reese, who is the technical director for the festival, who stood shoulder to shoulder with Larry in the infancy of this now International Black Theater Festival, with all of what a technical director will do he's been doing it. And close friend of mine, had to know him over the years. I've been in this position. Immediately, he was a friend just like Beth. Now, he will tell you like it is as he's sitting down. Oh, he has, okay. I know that's not alcohol. It's probably just water.
Man, seltzer water.
Okay,
Come
seltzer
on.
water for, I'm just asking.
Since this morning's interview didn't have any
Oh, okay, right. But I did bring you a Frappuccino, kind of late. Okay, guys, he's already, like stepped in with all of us, whatever we call the artiness of it all, the arty of it all. Guys, please welcome Arthur Reese, known as Artie, professor, scholar, everything. I won't give the whole resume. But anyway, but the biggest title for me today is friend. Because
we are friends.
We are. And he has saved my butt from many situations throughout the years in media. And he's always been a partner. Welcome to our inaugural digital.
I love being part of something fresh.
Yes.
And yes, we are friends. And actually, we have worked together to save each other. Right?
We have.
We have done that. And I've always liked to be able to say that, well, the National Black Theater Festival, now international, was one of the most positive Black-owned, Black-run events on the planet.
Yes.
And people for years, and it's so funny, but it's so heartwarming. I see certain celebrities who have aged to the point that they're like, I may not go anywhere else, but I'm going to make it to that festival, because the spirit here generally is one that is buoyant. It recharges your soul. It leaves you wanting to do more. It leaves you, okay, what can I do on my next production?
Right,
yeah, because there are so many great shows. You are inspired. And it's also great for some of the theater goers to watch people that they've seen on TV and in films all their lives, just walking around looking for that fish plate. Okay, where's the best one? Where's the best one? And they enjoy their time down south. There's no security. There's no nothing. They're just walking around, sucking up the vibe.
Yes.
Also, I feel that having known Larry, having known Sylvia, having basically, I was, so stupid when Larry said, hey, man, I'm about to do a National Black Theater Festival. You think you could do tech for that? You're young and dumb. Oh, yeah, man. I'd do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Absolutely. I could jump in on that. And so we did. And I think no one expected the response. That was the thing about 89, because it went boom. Yes. It was an explosion of cultural and spiritual energy and intellectual, oh God, what's the best way to put it? I watched Larry actually in 89, stayed up the entire week.
Oh,
I didn't know if you knew that.
I mean, I didn't know that, but I worked with Larry and saw him stay up for days, which was crazy. A week?
He said he must have dropped at least 30 pounds. He wasn't huge.
No,
to begin
with, right.
And on the very last day, as we were about to fly out, Sylvia was on one side. I can't remember who was on the other, but Larry was a toothpick. And he was standing there and he was shivering a little. He said, how did we do? And I said, well, we did it.
How are you doing?
Well, about 3 or 4 weeks later, all the bills started hitting.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of threw him. He said, RT often called me that. I had never been in that kind of debt.
Wow.
Okay. And he says,
Wow.
it threw me. And actually, I think it was only really like 100 and something thousand as we look now,
Gosh,
as we're into
wow,
the millions,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But the next one, 91, he was like, you spending $12 on what? What's that for?
Right.
What's that?
Right.
Actually, financially, I enjoyed doing the festival with Sylvia Moore.
And I was going to speak to that. I've heard people say that. Tell me why.
Well, I'll tell you why. Well, you had to get your budget together.
Yeah.
Every dime, here's what
That's
I'm
true.
spending, here's why.
Yes, I experienced that.
And yes, you went through the
We
same
all
thing.
did, yeah.
But once she signed off on it, stuff flowed. It
flowed.
came out.
Good.
We had a moment this festival where, you know, there was budget slashing and budget changing. And I was looking at a very good friend of mine, Sean Barney Buddha.
Oh, yeah.
And yes. I said, yo, man, we're going to make it on through this. There was always also, no matter how we mess with each other or whatever, there was always a base level of respect that allowed us to accomplish anything. That phrase, we ain't afraid of no show, we weren't. Still aren't, in a way. But being able to be in an artistic environment that is buoyant and supporting, and holy moly, there's nothing we can't do. And go ahead, man. Talk about that.
Because I was going to ask you, I don't see how you do it. So we have over 100 performances this festival.
Yeah, you
from
do.
About 39, 40 companies. And they all come with their own different needs. And and you know more than anything, the different sets and what have you. Speak to that. I mean,
let me talk about that.
Crazy.
You know, this year we have built more scenery than in any other year.
So you guys are building the scenery.
Oh, yes. And generally what we call pre-build.
Okay.
Generally, there's only one of them. It lasts about a month.
Okay.
And down to the very last platform that people stand on, every stick of 2x4, everything needed to make everything work has to be accounted for. As a matter of fact, this morning I was in the lower level of Benton where we keep our stuff, and I was counting platforms because I think I'm short.
God, how do you do it?
Well, here's the deal.
Amazing.
I know that I need 16 or 17 for telling tales.
Right.
But also the show coming from, Norfolk State, they need platforms at the back of Mountcastle.
Wow.
And I need 2 for that. And I don't think I have them. So that means I gotta either build or borrow.
Right.
And then for the first time, and I'm 65, and I've been doing this professionally since 20.
Okay.
So 45 years.
Wow.
This is the first time I ever had to go and buy a used toilet. For the show.
And I don't want to know.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't want to know.
Yes, you do.
First
for the
of all,
show.
those 2 words should never
come together. They should.
Right, they should never.
Yeah, but A Woman in Waiting, our show from South Africa.
Yes, Cape Town with Timby.
Yes.
Shala Jones, A Woman in Waiting.
They needed a toilet on a leash. So there is
another word that shouldn't be
together, but she could walk around the stage and pull her toilet around with her.
If I don't buy my ticket for that show, oh my God, are you serious?
Oh, absolutely. And oh my goodness, perhaps I shouldn't tell this. But
Okay.
I had
Spoiler.
to build, spoiler
Spoiler
alert,
alert.
I had to build a box large enough for her to be hidden in. But then as she comes out, she then stands on it. And, you know, the rule in my shop at North Carolina Central University, our shop is where we build.
Okay, Eagles. Go Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles, baby. And it says, Reese says, doesn't matter how pretty it is, if it's not safe, it's no good. We
so
have
she's standing
on it. It's
Okay.
gotta hold her. And oftentimes I have what I call ratios.
Okay.
Okay. If a thing weighs 500 pounds and I have to take it into the air, I'm going to rig it up there with 1,000 pounds worth of material.
Wow. Okay.
So my ratio is 2 to 1.
Okay.
Because in all of those 45 years, I have never hurt anybody. I've never dropped anybody.
Wonderful.
Right. You know what? Yeah, everything we got here, you know, hoping that continues. And then we had
and
one
that show from Norfolk State was, by the way, is what Thoughts of a Colored
Thoughts
Man.
of a Colored Man.
Thoughts
Thank
of a
you.
Colored Man.
So I'm sitting there. How long are we working in this interview? I want to tailor.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
I built one called Feed the Beast, which actually deals with the Tuskegee experiments when they injected them with syphilis.
Guys, get your tickets for that.
Yeah, because wow.
Yeah.
Leon always.
Oh.
No, he always brings quality, historical work. Speaking of which, okay, good. So you need to see his stuff because this is sometimes history that we didn't get. Right. But his set, if you go up to that third black line, is like 12 foot tall. I mean, it's this hospital that we recreate on stage.
Wow.
And we had to find all of these things like medical chairs from that year.
Amazing.
Well, that's Taylor Morrell, who's also a Central graduate. And we work in kind with the University of North Carolina School of the Arts.
Okay.
Blandway always gives us one of his students so that we have access to their amazing prop room. And you know, since the film school opened, the props that they have are just incredible. But one of the things about Winston-Salem and about this festival, and Larry threatened to move it several times. I think Richmond was in the running, New Orleans was at one time in the running. Other people wanted to bring it. My thing when he was thinking that, because you know Larry, when he was in that mood, and I said, look, man, today I walked over to the Stevens Center and I borrowed X amount of equipment. Then I went to Wake Forest and then I was able to get X amount of platforms. Jeez. And then from this one, I get this. So going to a new city, you're not going to have that kind of access to stuff because oftentimes, no matter how hard I plan, right? Something come up.
Always.
And you need so-and-so and you need so-and-so now. Today, it was as simple for the show Unentitled as a actor's cube inside their little. I built the house on stage. Have you seen it?
No, I heard about it. So
you built the house on stage.
I mean, it's amazing.
And inside it, they needed something to set a tray on so that an actor could save time and have a better transition. So I brought about a dozen actors' cubes, those black boxes from North Carolina Central, but they're all used. And I looked at my assistant, Kyla, and I said, "Here we go get another box." So I called Gretchen Devlin Hall, who has taught at Reynolds for over 30 years. I love Gretchen too.
Last night.
And she said, "All right, how big do you want it?" And again, that kind of openness.
And the partnerships that you only have here.
That's it,
in
man.
Winston-Salem. And,
That's
you know,
it.
and we're Black Theater Holy Ground. So we can't take that holy ground anywhere.
Well,
I mean,
you got to realize also that Winston has several unique factors
right.
that lend to the success of the event. You know, the proximity of theaters.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, you can't find this many 20. What do we got in this one? 20 something?
Yes. Yes.
Now, truthfully, we build 1, 2, 3. I think this year, okay, we're building the Reese, we're building the Gwen Williams, and we're building the one in what I call the gala room, so nobody gets confused.
They know exactly
we're building those 3. Generally, we also build what we call the Hamlin 1. Now, I designed Hamlin 1 and the Reese Theater as what I would like to call actor paradises.
Wow.
Because they're very intimate.
Intimate spaces.
Yeah, where the audience.
Which I love those.
Yeah, where the audience is close.
You feel like you're just right there.
Yeah, you're right there in it. And then you look at the actors, you know, they feed on that, right? And the audience, they're feeding on that. And I mean, let's look at this. You got Denzel, you got Sam Jackson, Al Pacino. These people make millions of dollars for one movie. Why do they still do live theater that can't possibly pay them the same amount of money? It's that audience interaction. It's Sam Jackson. I was at the Negro Ensemble Company, and we were working on Sally. It was a new thing by Charles Fuller, the playwright who did a soldier's play. And this was his new 5-part series. And Sam had done some movie, but he was standing on stage and he was twitching like he did in the movie where he played Gator, the crack addict. Yeah, right? Okay. That was a Spike Lee movie, I believe. And I said, "Negro, what are you doing?" He said, "Theater, man. Theater. It's like crack. It's like crack. I got to have it, man. I'm so glad to be back in the building." And now I looked up, I was watching something from Star Wars the other morning, and there was Giancarlo Esposito, who was also in Better Call Saul, I believe. And I'm thinking, you knew that kid when he had just begun, and the amazing amount of people that have come through the Negro Ensemble Company, which is actually making a comeback.
Yes, they are. They are.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
I'm going to tell a tiny story. We were at the very first National Black Arts Festival. Arts Festival was even years. Black Theater Festival was odd.
Okay.
The very first one, and we did a play called Hannah Davis, written by Leslie Lee, and actually purchased by Robin Givens.
Wow.
And is probably now in some closet because she never did it. It was something. It was an excellent play, and I could see why she would want it.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry that people can't see the play anymore. Anyway, we were doing Sally at the National Black Arts Festival, and I was given the Alliance Theater for that one. But across town at King Chapel or something, they had put North Carolina Black Repertory in this dinky little theater doing Hannah Davis. And actually, that was the very first show I did for Mr. Hamlin.
Wow.
Right? And Larry went to Douglas Turner Ward, who ran NEC for years, because Hannah Davis was the hit show of that film.
Okay.
It was burning.
That was it. Okay.
It was burning.
It's always one. You know,
Yeah,
like
that
always
was
one.
that.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a ticket after the first night.
Okay.
Larry went up to Douglas Turner Ward and said, "Yeah, you know, Doug, you know, I kind of whipped that ass at that festival, you know, and I didn't mean to spank it so hard."
In a dingy theater. In the worst theater.
And you know, the very first time I met Larry Leon Hamlin was at the Negro Ensemble Company in New York, 410 West 55th, I think, somewhere in there. And my boss, Susan Watson Turner, I've always had the best women bosses.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. She said, "Auntie Reese, go upstairs to the attic and meet the man. He wants you to come to North Carolina and light a play." And my response was, "Shit, I'm from South Carolina. I've worked my entire life to get out of Carolina. I'm not going back." She said, "Just go see the man." Damn. So I went up the stairs to the attic and I hear this stream of profanity coming from the room. And I'm like, now wait a minute.
Right.
And I see this diminutive figure in a purple jungle helmet, at lavender actually. And he is abusing these actors. I mean, he is tearing them up.
Really?
And I recognized Petronia Paley, who I knew on the soap opera. And I think I recognized a couple of other faces. And I'm like, I'm not working for this man. And I just turned around and he caught me with that voice. You remember Larry?
I remember that deep.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, may I help you?" I said, "Damn." Yeah, I turned around.
So that was your first?
That was my first
so when
impression.
Is your book coming out? Man, you need to write.
Actually,
you need to write a book.
I've been putting a few things in my textbook because I have one of those.
Okay.
And one of the stories is the day I met History. Now, that was 90, maybe 3, maybe 95, not sure. But Maya Angelou always had her party on the Sunday before festival, right?
Man, the history, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, and then one day, me and Larry were walking out of the Benton. Something had happened. And he said, "All right, man, T, I need you to get these actors over to their transportation because their limo was late or something. And they're coming to Maya's party." I said, "All right, sure, man, whatever." Because I was, that was the attitude.
Right.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm here. He opened that door and Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, and how am I forgetting Ruby Dee's husband? What was his name? Ozzie Davis. Were sitting like this in the room by themselves. And I spun around and went out that door and I said, oh no, I can't do that because first of all, that was every black person sitting in that room that I had grown up watching. And I was like, no, man, no. And he said, "Archie, it'll be all right. They ain't gonna hurt you. Just go on in there."
Wow.
Damn, man, I don't want to be around nobody, man.
It's just, but I mean, ending this, I just want to say that just our friendship and just the work ethic.
That's the way.
Oh my God.
That's the way, baby.
And you have just inspired me. And it's just been a pleasure. I've just been crazy.
It has been great.
I will
if
never
this is my last one, by God, I went out with my friends.
Well, we're not saying it, but we'll say it is. And I will never go to a bar with you and Lorente Hamlin. I will never go to a bar with you and Lorente Hamlin ever again. I love you, man. Thank you.
Love
so
you
much.
too, bro.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Guys, we could go on and on because art, the stories could go on and on because Artie is just walking history, as you just heard. And I want to kind of wrap things up with just kind of going over some wonderful things that you don't want to miss this week at the festival. Most of the shows open today. And guys, if you haven't been to the festival, we have this awesome brochure. It's almost like we call it the Festival Bible, where you can open up and get all the information on the shows, the special events, and everything. And just to mention a few opening today. We are excited. We have opening today. We have a Motown celebration that is with Chester Gregory. We talked about everything Motown. We have How High the Moon, the music of Ella Fitzgerald, starring Miss Fabrique. I love her. We also have Unentitled, Love Warrior with Daniel Beatty. You can come back and see again. It just goes on and on. We also have King Headley. That's the show that he was talking about from one of our fringe, the University of California, Los Angeles. So, I mean, just a myriad of things that you can take care of. And the workshops kicked off today. Our Readers Theater kicked off today. I implore you, please go online to ncblackrep.org and get all that information. It's just a wealth of shows. Like I said, over 100 performances, 20 plus Black theater companies from around the world. And when Larry hired me for this position many years ago, he said what he wanted to do is make sure that the world, this region, and everyone supported Black theater. He didn't want Black theater just to survive, but he also wants Black theater to thrive. And the International Black Theater Festival is doing just that. So I know he and Sylvia both are looking down and are very pleased. Guys, thank you for being with me today for the inaugural Digital Daily news conference and just information about the International Black Theater Festival. Stick with me here all week. Come back here every day at noon. We'll have more updates, more special guests. And until then, I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Go online, www.ncblackrep.org. Download our app as well, where you can get everything IBTF. For now, I'm signing off. I'm Brian McLaughlin. Thanks for being with me.